Hello students, this is Mrs. K. How are you today? The lesson that we're going to do today is from our Sound Waves book, and what we're working on is Unit 22, and the sound is the sound. The icon is the seal icon, so the seal, and the different graphemes that we have for that are S by itself, double S, SE, CE, X and C. Now I prefer X to be as its own sound, but we will use it while we're doing the Sound Waves books, we'll talk about it in the ways that Sound Waves talks about the X. So let's say it's in here too. X is really like a combination of the K and the S sounds put together. So I think it should be its own sound because it puts two of those together, and none of the others do that, okay? So, so it's here in this grapheme and it's in the other one. So we use it as though it's two graphemes put together into one. Okay. Alrighty, so we're working on exercises 7 to 10 today. Now I know that you will have been writing out your list words every day, that you're practicing those, that you've worked through exercises 1 to 6, you've listened to the recordings that I've done for the rest of this unit, so you know exactly what's happening with this grapheme. That's what I hope. Okay, so looking at exercise number 7 in Unit 22, I'm just going to show you the book. Okay, Unit 22, and we're looking at the second page in your book here where you will see exercises 7 to 10. Okay, let's work on those today. Now the first exercise says, number 7, says finish the words with the graphemes IE or EI. So those are the E ones, so the ones that say E. So those two graphemes are there to say E. I'm just going to write that onto my board here. Let's have a look. IE or EI are both in the, let me see, they've given us the sound box that has a picture of a bee. If you can have a look on your page there, you'll see the sound box. There's a picture of a bee. Let's see if I can draw a bee. They've done a lovely job of drawing a bee. I don't know that my bee's quite so nice. That's okay. I'm not here for an art lesson, fortunately. EE, E, EA, Y, and EY. Now this is what we're talking about when we write IE or EI. And the sound box has a B, and then we've got, these are the different graphemes that are the regular graphemes we use to represent the E sound. But today we're going to talk about when we use these two graphemes to represent E. So those are alternative ones that we can use. And now in purple it says, first of all, we'll finish that off. It says circle the exception to the message. I wonder what that means. We usually write I before E, except after C. For example, in receive, R-E-C-E-I-V-E. And we can turn to number 9 on page 86 to understand what they're saying here a little more. Let's have a look at page 86 in our books, and we're looking at box number 9. So here's page 80. So let's get that right there. Page 86, and we're looking at this number 9. So at the top of the page it says helpful hints. Now back down to the bottom of the page where it says number 9, writing I before E except after C. Writing I before E except after C. So this is a helpful hint. We used to call them rules. But the trouble with saying something as a rule is we know as a rule is something that must be followed, right? But a helpful hint, oh, that's something that, you know, this really might be very, very useful to you. You know, sometimes it might not quite work for you, but it'll be very useful most of the time. Okay. So what they say here at helpful hint number 9 on page 86, they say when the letter C represents S and is followed by E, we often use the grapheme EI to represent E. When the letter C represents S and is followed by E, so when you hear that S, E sound in a word, it will often be a C that we're using to make that sound, and it will be followed by an EI. Okay, so let's explain what that means. That means, for instance, in this word, receive, receive. You can hear that C sound in there, can't you? C. So we've got the seal icon, sound box here, the C, and for the E icon, which would be the B icon, for that sound, we're representing that with the EI. So C is representing the sound, and the EI together, let's see, and the EI together is representing that E sound. Sorry, let's write that correctly. The EI together is representing the E sound, and let's put the sound marks on there. So you see this means not the S, but it's a sound. Not E, but the, sorry, not EE, but it's the E sound. C is representing S, and the EI is representing the E. Okay. So that's something really helpful for us to know. Most of the time, when you hear C, C, you're going to be writing a C and then an EI. But there's one exception. It's written in your book, the word seize. To take hold of something is to seize it. And so when we're writing the C's, then we wouldn't be writing the C and then an EI, we write an S for that one word. Okay, so that's really helpful for us. So back to Unit 22, looking at our, once again, Unit 22, looking at the second page of that where we are working on number 7. Okay, so let's have a look at these words. Okay, looking at the first one, we have an N, and then we have a space, and then we have a CE, N, and then we've got, does it actually have just a line? So how are we going to write this? Is going to have an E sound in the middle of it. This is what we have. To put an E sound in the middle of that. Remember, what we're practicing is, we're practicing using either IE or EI. So will it be IE that we need to put in there, or EI? Which one of these will we be using, IE or EI? Now remember that helpful little tip? We usually write I before E, except when it comes after C. So most of the time we're going to write I before E, like I've done here, except when it comes after C. Okay, let's have a look what I've written there. You can see that on my board. Is everybody happy? What do you think about that? Okay, so moving on from there, you'll be able to do the rest of them on here now. Now, each time you're going to think, is it after a C? Is the IE coming after a C? No, that's not a C. So we're right to use IE. So IE except after C. So if you know that this word has an I and an E in it, but you're not sure whether it's IE or it's EI, you can use this to help you think about it. We usually write I before the E except after C. I before the E except after C. So what's the next one? Next one is receive. We know that middle bit is going to be one of these, receive. Receive is going to be either this one, IE, or EI. Which one will it be? We usually write I before E. This is what we usually do, except if it's after a C. So it's not after a C, so it must be this one. So I'm just doing some with you quickly so that you can see how it's done, and then you'll know what you need to do. Here we go again. Here's this word. We usually write I before E except after C. This word is going to be sit. I think the way you can see it, sit-ease. Sit-ease. But how will we write the E? IE or EI? Well, we usually write IE, so we'll probably write IE as long as it's not following a C. Is that a C? No, that's a T. So we can write IE. Okay, so hopefully that's helped you out a little bit. Let's do one more. I'd like you to do the next one, please. It is the word believe. So we know it's going to be an E in that space. Let's have a try of that one. I want you to do this one. You write believe. So it's actually got already, it's written in the B-E-L, and then we've got a line, and then V-E. What are you going to put in there? What will you put on that line? The I-E or the E-I? We know it's going to be either I-E or E-I. We usually write I-E, except if it's coming after a C, and then we write E-I. Okay, let's have a look. Believe. What are you writing in there? I want you to go ahead and write in your book and decide which one you're going to use, I-E or E-I. Which one will you use? Okay, write that in there, please. Now, I hope that what you will have done is you will have looked at this word, believe. Let's have another look. B-E-L-I-E or E-I. Ah, so it's I-E unless it's after a C. Is that a C? No, it's not a C. It's an L. So B-E-L-I-E. We're going to choose I-E because we usually write I-E except after a C. So I'd like you to go ahead and do all the rest of those in exercise 7. Fantastic work. So what we're learning there is all about when to use the I-E sound, and we're also learning that when you hear C inside a word, not the word see, obviously, where there's an ocean, but if you just hear that word see, that you're probably going to be then using the C-E-I. Okay? So that's your little learning point there. It's a really, really helpful hint. I love those helpful hints. They get me through so many things. I use them all the time. Okay, so exercise number 8 says to rewrite. When you've finished that one, you can stop the recording, do that exercise, or you can listen to all of this and learn alongside me and then go and try for yourself. Listen to the recording as often as you need to be able to get through the work, to be able to understand what I'm telling you. Right, okay, rewrite these list words with the beginning of the word at the end. Rewrite these. Now that's something that could confuse you, couldn't it, when they say something like that? So you've just got to stop and use your comprehension skills. You reread it, you listen to it, you try to break it down into parts and understand what they're saying. Rewrite these list words. So you're going to be rewriting list words out of the list. But they're saying these list words. So all those words in those columns in exercise 8, all of those words are actually words from our list. But they don't look like words from our list. That's because they've mixed them up a little bit with the beginning of the word at the end. So we have got the beginning of some words at the end of words instead. So let's have a look at this first one here. And the first word that they have there is, finding my marker, N-E-S-S-S-A-D. That does not sound like any English word that I know. It's like Nesad or something, isn't it? But they said to rewrite it, so you're going to write it again with the beginning of the word at the end. So do you see? These list words have the beginning of the word at the end. They've messed up how they've written it. So now we're going to rewrite that. We will write this. I'm taking the end of it, and I'm popping it at the beginning. There we go. So now what have I written? We had Nesad. I've made a break in the word where I think it starts, and I've got sadness. Sadness. Okay. The next one. Do you think you get the idea of what they mean? The next one says this, L-E-A-S-E-R-E. Okay. That's what the next one says. Let's see, what can we do? Here it is. You see that one? Where will we break that one off? I think I just pop a line in. I think it breaks here. I think we're going to rewrite it. It will be R-E-O-E-A-S-E. So I'm just taking that part there and I'm putting it here. Okay, so what you will write is release. Okay, so there you go. That should be fairly easy. Just go through them. You're going to have to go backwards and forwards. You might have to look at the list and work your way down the list until you find the word that matches that one and then write it in there. Great stuff. Number 9. So you can stop the recording and work your way all the way through number 8 and then come and listen to number 9, or you can listen to me as I teach these and then work your way right through. Remember, the recording's still there. You can just click on the recording, come back and do it anytime at all that you would like to. Okay, so number 9, form list words and a word built from a list word with each set of word parts and write them on the lines. So you're going to 1, form list words and a word built from a list word with each set of word parts and then write them on the lines. So let's have a quick look at those. The first one, that's got 3 different word parts. 3 different word parts. And the word parts that they have listed there, they have an RE, they have an AL, and they have a CE. Now remember, these words are in the list. Again, it doesn't look like one of the words from the list, does it? What can we do with that? Let's move those parts around. So you're basically moving the parts around. That is a list word. Now I wonder if I can do a word built from a list word. Oh, okay. So maybe there's another one. Okay. I can certainly find cereal. Is there another one that I can do that's built from a list word there? Might have to think about that one. Okay, I'm going to keep on going and we might come back to that at the end. Let's have a look at the next one. The next one we've got is, it's written I-N, D-E-R, and C-Y-L. And there we go, that's what they've got written down, and we're going to make a list word out of that. Cylinder. How about a word made from the list word, and we might write real here next to the cereal one. That's a word made from the list word. Okay, and cylinder. I'm going to have to think about that one some more. I love it when they stump me. It's like a puzzle my brain can chew on. And when your brain chews on word puzzles, you get really good at working with words. So that's all that our brains chew on this little puzzle. Okay, so I would go ahead with those. And if for the moment, maybe just get this part done where you're just writing the list word. Okay, and we'll think about how we could do that, build a part from it as well. Okay, next one. Write the words that form, so exercise number 10. Write the words that form the contractions. Change the contractions back to the pairs of words and write them on the lines in the sentences. So there we go with the contractions. We've got theirs equals their something. So we remember what a contraction is. A contraction is where we take 2 words and we make 1 word out of it. We join them together, we take out at least 1 letter, and where that 1 letter has been taken out, we place an apostrophe. Okay, so I'll just show you this first one. Goodness me. Get myself organised here. There we go. Okay, so the first one is theirs, and theirs equals there is. So when we go there, and I'm going to put in a little plus sign, then when we go there and we add on is, what we're able to do is take out the I, and in I's place we put an apostrophe, and that's how we get this. There is. You see, that could have an I there, and then it would be there is if we had a space and then an I. So instead we leave a space just to put the apostrophe into. Okay? That apostrophe stands for a missing letter. Okay, lovely. Now let's move on to the next one. All right, and then you're going to write, so you say there is, and then you'll be writing he's equals he is. He'd. He'd better come back quickly, said Mother. children said, the dog has run off. Oh, he'd better come back quickly, said the mother. Okay, hid. What does that mean? He hid. And sometimes you really think, what is that word that's missing? So we know it's a word that ends in a D, don't we? We know it's he something. So let's write that. He. We know whatever that word is in there, it's something that ends in a D. Now it could be he would, he could, or in this case, it's he had. He had best come back quickly. Better come back quickly, said Mum. Sometimes we can use he would, he'd have come if he could have. Okay, he had, and then we've also got, oh, look at that. So they've got two choices in there for you. One of them has, in one case, they've given you a word with 5 letters. It's 5 letters. In one case, they've given you a word with 3 letters. So just have a think about which one it could be. And then we've got they've. So that, of course, is going to be they. What it will be, they, something, they have. Let's have a look at that one. That is going to be they have. They've. Hold it back here so you can see it all. They have. Okay. So you should be able to do those now. There's an escapee from the prison hiding in the cellar. So there's, what's that going to be? Okay. He's been there all day. He'd be very hungry by now. The police are hunting for him. They've been searching for hours. He'd have been released in another month if he'd waited. So you need to write those full words in. So it will be writing out the full 2 words. So it will be he something. Okay, lovely. So that is your list, your exercise number 10. Now just one final word about the challenge. Right at the bottom of that page that we've just been working on is a challenge, and the challenges are wonderful. They're a lot of fun, and I'm going to let you work on those by yourself. Certainly talk to me about them if you've got any problems at all, and I'll tell you a little bit of a secret for this. Let me see, for the extra challenge, okay, there's even an extra challenge on page 91. So you can do that challenge if you get to it, and then there's also an extra challenge for each unit right at the back of the book on page 91, and you can see that it writes about that right down here at the bottom. So every time, don't forget to check this little bit here about the extra challenge. So this challenge this week, just the ordinary challenge, is just a crossword. You need to go to the list, find the list word that matches the crossword clues, and do that crossword using the list words that we have. Okay, that should be loads of fun. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk again about your sound waves one day really soon. Bye-bye.